Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Emma Raducanu's tearful complaint after Aryna Sabalenka drama ahead of Cincinnati Open. Emma Raducanu is scheduled for a rematch with Aryna Sabalenka following the Wimbledon drama that left the British star in tears. Up next for Raducanu is the Cincinnati Open, where she has received a bye in the first round and will face either Katie Boulter or Olga Danilovic in the second round. Provided she passes that test, she is likely to face Sabalenka. It would be their first meeting since their thrilling, albeit controversial, third-round clash at SW19, which the world number one won 7-6, 6-4. The main moment of contention involved the Sabalenka first serve at 2-4, 15-0, which appeared to miss the line. Raducanu managed to return to the serve, only for Sabalenka to hit a forehand winner before going on to hold. Raducanu was heard asking the chair umpire, "You saw it out as well, right?" After the match, an emotional Raducanu questioned the accuracy of Wimbledon's electronic line calling system, ELC. She said, "That call was for sure out. It's kind of disappointing, the tournament here, that the calls can be so wrong, but for the most part they've been okay. I've had a few in my other matches, too, that have been very wrong. Hopefully they can fix that." The technology has become standard across the tour, with all ATP Tour events and a lot of WTA ones no longer using line judges. The same system operates at the Australian Open and the US Open, but the French Open remains an outlier, eschewing any form of electronic system. Another moment of controversy during the Sabalenka match involved Raducanu's racket, which received needed running repairs. She explained, "In the first set as well, I was struggling with the tension of the strings. I felt like the ball was flying. I had all my rackets strung up fresh for the match, and it just felt like it was pinging completely different. It could have been a little bit, because the roof was on. I sent a couple rackets to be rest-strung." Sabalenka has little sympathy, reminding her young rival that preparation was key. She said, "That's more reason to have an extra racket, maybe not in your bag, but your team. For example, my team, they always have like 2 extra rackets with the higher tension and 2 extra rackets with lower tension. They prepare it. You don't have to wait for another racket. For example, my team, they always have like 2 extra rackets with a higher tension and 2 extra rackets with lower tension. They prepare it. You don't have to wait for another racket." Meanwhile, Raducanu has started working with Rafael Nadal's former coach, Francis Roig. The 22-year-old has been working with fellow Brit Mark Petchey on an informal basis since March and has now added Roig to her team. The Spaniard worked alongside Nadal and his uncle Tony for the majority of his career, during which time he won 22 Grand Slams. Speaking about teaming up with Roig ahead of the Cincinnati Open, Raducanu told Sky Sports, "It's going really well. It's my second day here with him here, but I did a few days in London before I came out here. He's obviously got a bank of experience, and I'm very excited to continue working with him and to have him on my side." Roig joins Raducanu's coaching setup as she continues preparations for the US Open, the tournament she won in 2021. Center court spillover, the emotional aftermath of Wimbledon. On a balmy evening at Wimbledon Center Court, one of tennis's most hallowed stages, Emma Raducanu's pulse raced with possibility. Each fierce rally, each thundering forehand and precise backhand bound her into a high-stakes ballet with world number one Aryna Sabalenka. Despite pushing the Belarusian to the very edge with a tight 7-6-4, 6-4 scoreline, Raducanu fell short, retreating from the court not just in defeat, but in raw, unguarded emotion. Her tears, visible in the locker room, were not signs of weakness, but of profound investment. As The Guardian noted, the 22-year-old could think only of the opportunities she had squandered. "It's better for me to feel a bit of the pain and then process it." The Guardian. She acknowledged the loss as tough to swallow, but brimming with lessons. Her serve stabilizing, her defense holding strong, resilience quietly reawakening. The Guardian. ESPN.com. The Times. 2. Beyond the court, strains, systems, and support. Yet the on-court grind was only part of the burden. Coaching stability hung precariously over her return to form. Coach Mark Petchey, who'd lent guidance since March, was poised for departure due to busy U.S. broadcast commitments. Raducanu's voice trembled, revealing the emotional cost of such uncertainty. He agreed to help me until the end of Wimbledon. That's a conversation we need to have after a few days. The Times. Adding to the strain was moderate but persistent media pressure, from intrusive lines of questioning about personal relationships to tabloid sensationalism, overshadowing athletic progress. The Guardian called such coverage repulsive and sexist, distracting from the very strides she was making. The Guardian. To compound matters, Raducanu publicly criticized Wimbledon's electronic line calling after a pivotal serve that appeared out but was called in, altering momentum, she felt, at a critical juncture. That call was, like, for sure out, it's disappointing, she said, voicing frustration shared by many. New York Post. The Guardian. 3. Not just a loss, but a looming Cincinnati Open. As the dust settled, Raducanu looked ahead to the U.S. hardcourt swing, beginning soon in Cincinnati. While she didn't directly reference any specific drama involving Sabalenka in that lead-in, the emotional weight of the Wimbledon battle was sure to shape her mindset. Her reflections weren't just about a single match. They were about maturity, resilience, and the quiet building of competitive grit. 4. Creative interpretation. Embracing pressure, channeling pain. Imagine the narrative unfolding as an internal monologue. I can't sleep tonight. The words surfaced, raw and honest, after she questioned a line call that unraveled her rhythm. New York Post. But the next thought was electric with resolve. It really motivates me. I want to get straight back to work, so in the big moments I can back myself a little bit more. New York Post. ESPN.com. She drifted between thoughts of a match, where she'd outplayed her own expectations and anxieties about continuity. Without Pecci's presence, will I be floating again, drifting between coaches like before? But she quickly cut the doubt with determination. I'll find someone. I will. Because the game isn't waiting. The line-calling controversy stung, but she spun it into purpose. If they fix it, if I'm sharper next time, then maybe it won't cost me again. And the media's gaze? Let them talk. On the flip side, I'll drown out the noise with better court focus, better serves, better returns. 5. Pre-Cincinnati, a phoenix poised to rise. By the time Cincinnati's tournament draws near, the narrative arc shifted. Raducanu, once fragile in defeat, now stands as a phoenix formed through challenge. She's emerging from the ashes of emotional breakdowns, questionable calls, and intangible pressure, not invisible, but stronger for it. Her goals for Cincinnati: restore rhythm under real match conditions, lean into aggressive serving, fortified since Wimbledon, cement a full-time coaching solution and stable support staff, use the pain of center court loss to fuel measurable improvement. In summary, this snapshot of Raducanu's tearful introspection and preparation for Cincinnati reveals more than athletic ambition. It reveals the reconciling of heart and mind, frustration and focus, loss and learning. It's a moment of creative clarity. From tears rose actions, from reflection came direction. That's the story winding its way across courts, from Wimbledon's green lawns to the fast American hard courts.